What is going on, friends? This is Matt Carter, that YouTube Realtor, and today I'm going to be doing a quick overview of what we saw in the month of February 2022, go over some of those key statistics that everybody likes to hear about, kind of see where the market is and where it's possibly going, so let's get right into it. So throughout the month, we saw 758 new listings hit the market, which is up just about 8% over last year's numbers. So pretty good that we're seeing a little more hit the market. But as we're seeing this relatively the same sales activity in about 593 houses being sold during the month. This is pretty much bang on to what we saw last year. So kind of nice. We are seeing a little bit more listings hit the market, but still the same amount selling. So the ratio is going to be a bit better in favor of buyers. I say in favor of buyers, I'll put that in quotes, but definitely better, definitely great that we're seeing some more listings hit the market and a little bit more options out there for people to choose from. So if you run those numbers a little bit and you see that our sales to listings ratio is about at the 78% mark, whereas compared to last year, about 84. So definitely better. We want that number to be lower in order to be in a more balanced market, in order for everybody to be a little bit happier with whatever's going on, less competition on the buyer's side, and just, a balanced market is just good for everybody. But what we are seeing is at the end of the month, we're left with 272 active listings on the market, which sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that many houses. And this is actually down almost 16% since 2021. So we are seeing not a lot of houses sticking around on the market for too long, although we are seeing a little more houses getting put up for sale. So this leads us right into the stat that I talk about every market update, and that's that months of inventory, and probably more accurately should be called weeks of inventory. So right now we're at 0.5 months of inventory. So what that means is there's about 2 weeks worth of houses on the market. If nothing else were to be put on the market today and they were being sold at the same rate that they have been, we would be left with just about 2 weeks until all those houses were sold and off the market with nothing else to choose from. So definitely not a lot going on there. If we were in a balanced market, we'd be seeing anywhere from 4 to 6 months of inventory, and that leaves you with lots of options out there as a buyer, lots of things to look at. But right now, seeing pretty much next to nothing being left over, and relatively speaking, not a ton of inventory for people to choose from. So the median days on market is about 7, and this is pretty average. This is what it's been for the last couple of years. And I mention it each time I do these videos. It's because people are waiting about a week with their house on market, not looking at offers until a certain date in the future, and it's generally that 6, 7, 8 days down the line, in order to get a bunch of people through the house, get as many offers as they can for that property, and hopefully get the most money and the most competition once offer day comes around. So, and then this leads us right into everybody's favorite stat, and it's the average price of a home. So looking at just in the city of London, just London East, North, and South, none of the surrounding areas, we're looking at an average price of just under $824,000. Now, this is incredibly high. This is as high as it's ever been for the area, and it's just astonishing to see how much prices have actually gone up since last year, or even last month. So since last year, houses have gone up over $200,000. Since last month, they've gone up around $50,000. It's absolutely incredible what the average price of a house is doing in the city of London. And it's interesting to look at, because looking at all these stats, looking at what's out there, not much has changed in terms of there's less inventory out there relative to what there was, last couple months or anything. It's just there's so much demand out there, and we may have seen a little bit of a skew with everything, maybe a little bit more of the higher priced homes being sold, which is kind of pushing that up more of towards that 1 million mark are being sold now, as opposed to the lower end homes. Not too sure, haven't delved exactly into those details, but we are up to almost an average price of $824,000, which is incredibly high. Right now, on average, houses are selling for about 25 or 26% over what they're listed for. So it's a good thing to go into when you are going to see a house. That's kind of what to expect potentially out of the final list price. It's not to say every single one is going to be 25% over the asking price. And this could also be, artificially propped up because some agents, some sellers are wanting to underprice the house in order to get more people through that door. So a house that's maybe worth $800,000 is being priced at that $500,000 mark, and then it looks great at the end of the day when the house sells for what it should be valued up at the $800,000 compared to what it was originally listed at the $500,000 mark. So if you look at all this data that I've just talked about, you can take a look at these graphs here. You can see that active listings and months of inventory is at an all-time low for months in February over the past 10 years, while new listings and sales activity are at all-time highs over the last 10 years. So not much has changed. You can see relative to these graphs, things have been creeping up over the last little while. Some things are very similar to what we've seen in the last year. And as I mentioned before, things got crazy over 2021. Housing prices, like I mentioned, went up around $200,000 since last year. So we may be in line for a little more of that this year. It seems to be. Now, I have released a couple videos in the past talking about what may be happening down the line in terms of mortgage rates increasing, things of that nature. We did just see an increase of the prime rate of 0.25%, and what that will mean overall for if you're getting a new mortgage or if you already have a mortgage. So take a look at my past video that I released last week. It goes over everything you should know about your mortgage that you are getting or already have. So we might see some slowdown in the next little while. I don't think we're going to really see it until the end of the year, going into 2023, before we start seeing an impact of those rates doing anything in terms of slowing the market down. Now, I say that, and what I have been hearing and what I have been seeing in the market is a lot less activity in terms of showings on listings that people have, not only in London, but I've heard it from GTA as well. And just not as many people getting out. Houses that may have had 20, 25 offers on it in the past now only have 4 or 5 offers going on it. So it's still competitive. It's still, very much a seller's market, but we aren't seeing the activity that we were seeing at this time last year or even last month. So this could be to a variety of different reasons. There's a lot of things happening in the world right now, a lot of things overseas that people are uncertain of. So people may be holding on to holding on and waiting to see what plays out before they make any big financial decisions. The rate hike may scare some people away, although I don't really think it has too much of an impact at this time. And also what we've been seeing is just over the last couple of weeks, more and more listings hitting the market. And it might just be people, getting out, seeing other properties and not necessarily all piling onto one house or the couple houses that are hitting the market every day. We are seeing more and more hit the market each day. And if you look back last year at this time, over the next couple of months, we're going to start seeing a lot more houses hit the market. And we actually saw kind of a plateauing of prices in the middle 2 quarters of the year last year. So we may have seen the overall trajectory, we may have got to that peak that we're going to see right now. It may level off for a little bit, and then who knows what's going to happen down the line towards the end of the year. So definitely keep an eye out there if you are looking to get into the market. Definitely ask your realtor, ask some people in the business what they have been seeing, because right now, if you want to kind of avoid some of that competition, it may be a good idea to get out there and start looking a little more seriously if it's right for you. So make sure you're having those conversations and doing everything you can do to prepare yourself to make the best possible decision. So that's about it. That's all the stats I got to talk about today. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know where you think this market's going to be going over the next couple months or so. And are you still looking? If you're in the market, are you still out there looking for homes? I'd love to hear what you think. But anyways, that's about all I have. So make sure if you found any value to this content, you hit that like button, subscribe, and also get notified by hitting the little bell, and make sure you pass this along to anybody else who you think would benefit from it as well. Stay tuned for all my videos that come up in the future. I release one every single week, so I hope to see you in the next one, and until then, take care.